You are streaming live with ghostcultmag.com here on a few of our social networks, not all of them, not as many as we usually do. We are here to do our 5-minute review of Overkill's new album, Scorched, coming out this week, April 14th, 2023, as we record this, coming up this week. Super stoked. We are bringing back this series from 2022, very successful 2022, where we previewed albums like Rammstein's Zeit and Slipknot's controversial The End So Far and Kirk Hammett's EP Portals. Now we're back in 23 with our first review of the year on video. Of course, there's long-form video. There's a long-form review of this album on our website. This is going to be unedited and uncut, so mistakes are going to happen. Probably not going to be 5 minutes. It's going to be a little longer than 5 minutes, but you get the concept. We're going to review the whole album right here and now as the noise of San Francisco goes on outside my window. I'm based in the HQ of San Francisco. Ghost Cult is a worldwide website portal for news, reviews, interviews, and much more. So thanks for being here. If you're here with us on Twitch and Facebook and what's up over on IG, I see some of my peoples already. Thanks for being here. Appreciate y'all. I don't even think we promoted this on Instagram at all. So you just happen to catch us at a good time. A little bit of housekeeping. We're going to have several more videos this week. We're going to have a 5-minute review of the new Metallica record, 72 Seasons, which is also coming out the same day as Overkill. We are also going to do our weekly ritual live show where we run down the week's news and major stories and festivals and tours and all that good stuff. So lots to do this week. Multiple streams happening. I'm going to try to stream on Twitch a little more. You might have seen the Twitch logo, the Twitch graphic we shared before this went live on a few social channels. And we're going to try to stream a little bit more on Twitch and bring you a little bit different kinds of content than you're used to seeing. Brooklyn Miss is here. Pags is here. All my people. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Again, not unplanned, but not super promoted like we usually spend like most of the week promoting our weekly news show, because that's one of our big features of the week is to do that show. It's one of my pleasures to hang out with you. But we're going to review the brand new Overkill right now. So we're going to get right into it. I have some notes. You'll see me looking at my notes. Let's just bring up the little graphic. Boop. 5-minute review. Again, these used to be pre-recorded and edited up beautifully. So you're going to have to deal with the roughness and the rawness of this video. But I think it's going to be very cool. And if it goes well, we'll do more of these the rest of the year. So Overkill, their new album, Scorched, is coming out. We've done a lot of previews. We shared their news stories, single and video releases. We did a major interview with Bobby Blitz, which if you're seeing this on YouTube, you can just click right over to the video. We'll link it in the description after we're done. But we interviewed Bobby Blitz all about the record and all the tracks and the whole songwriting process and everything. And this is their 20th record in 43 years. Their band is prolific as heck. And honestly, this is the longest gap between records for Overkill, 4+ years between releases. They have been a band, as I said, since 1980, 43 years. They have releases 38 of those years. Insane, something like that. 36, 37 years. Insane. Just absolutely insane. 20th release coming out on Nuclear Blast record. This is their second record in a row with the same lineup, which is also somewhat not a rarity, but, a little bit unusual. This is the second record with Jason Bittner. You know him from his work in Shadows Fall and previously Flotsam and Jetsam. And what an incredible power he brings to Overkill. It's almost like he was meant to be in the band. No disrespect to anybody else. Well, I mean, Omar lives in New York in the Bronx, and I live in San Francisco. So as much as I love to do content with Omar, you'll have to wait till the summer till we are reunited. But yeah, I hear you. He needs to be doing more of these things. He interviewed Bobby Blitz of Overkill. So if you watch that interview, Omar is an expert level Overkill official here at Ghost Cult, as am I. But he and I bonded over Overkill. It's one of our first bands we met in friendship over. So that's also pretty interesting. So 20 albums for Overkill. Let's just go through a summary of the album. Of course, you know what to expect. They're one of the most consistent bands ever. Obviously, the big four of thrash, Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax, has to do with sales and legacies and histories and being there kind of first. But really, Overkill is really behind Anthrax only a bit as the second most important and powerful East Coast thrash band ever. And they have been remarkably consistent over their entire career. So, of course, we were highly anticipating this album, and it does not disappoint, let me tell you. The record is a banger from start to finish. There's a lot of curveballs, but nothing experimental, just what you expect. Top tier, incredible writing, thrash metal playing, fantastic songs. Let's just go through the tracks really quickly because it's worth talking about. The album opens up with Scorched, the title track, with a great guitar lick from Dave Linsk, who shreds all over the place on this record. Guy is a beast of lead guitar and guitar prowess in general, and it is just a super duper thrash song. It's got a lot of time changes and a lot of riff salad, almost kind of reminded me of an Exodus song. It's got like that hallmark of a great thrash song, but they never lose the plot, and that's what's really important here. There's a lot of complicated progressive riffs on this album, but you are never bored and you never feel like the songs meander. Some of them are over 5 minutes long, but they're never too long, and that's one of the best things about this record. The second track is Going Home, lots of shifting tempos and gritty vocals from Bobby Blitz. This is arguably one of his best vocal performances ever. Our interview with him talked about how he seems to be getting better with age somehow and just adapting and changing and improving with time. And this song is evidence of that. He just kills it on this track. The third track is The Surgeon. You might have noticed it was the first single off the record back in January. And it starts out with just speed metal mastery. It's just blistering tempos. And then it kind of has a mid-tempo groove part where it slows down toward the end, which I found was really interesting how they did it. They sort of ground it down to a slow halt and built it back up again. Just beautiful, beautiful song making. Fourth track is Twist of the Wick, another impossibly fast beat from Jason Bittner, and just amazing high vocals from Blitz. His signature high vocals, you know, not quite a Dickinson scream where he holds it out over a long period of time, but just precise slices of Blitz vocal melody. Fantastic stuff here. And yeah, what's up? And let's see, we got some more people here on the chat. Thank you for being here. Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody on the stream. Got a couple of comments here. Papa Smalls is here on Twitch. What's up? Scott Harrington is here. Scott Harrington on Facebook. Overkill is a national treasure. Yes, they are. They really are. They really need to get their flowers. You know, I wouldn't take anybody out of the big four. This is not that discussion at this time. A lot of people are always slagging Anthrax. It's my favorite band. They're on my battle. That's my back patch on my vest there over my shoulder if you're watching on Twitch. But no one should be out of the big four. But Exodus and Overkill and Testament surely deserve their day. And that'll be another stream we will do in the future. But continuing with the track listing, let's continue. Twist of the Wick, again, incredibly speedy. Wicked Place, classic Overkill. Thrash, heavy metal, brutal riffs, incredible vocals. And I really got to give credit. This whole record was written basically, as usual, by Dee Dee Verney, the bassist and longtime conspirator of Overkill with Blitz. And Verney's riffs, man, he's writing the riffs. He's got these just killer bass lines. He's got one of the most distinctive bass tones in all of thrash metal, by the way, and maybe even underrated somehow. He doesn't really get his due, but he is really one of the driving forces of this band and has been from the beginning. And from my hometown, the Bronx, New York. So shout out to the Boogie Down. Appreciate you, Dee Dee. The next track is Wicked Place. I mentioned that, like classic Overkill sound. Won't Be Coming Back is another song, a little bit like Holy Diver at the beginning, and then some unbelievable lyrics and vocals. Again, Overkill topical, you know, evil, the terrible things people do, the state of the world, getting your comeuppance, all these things. You know, the typical Overkill themes are all present here. This track, no exception. The next track is Fever, and I'm going to tell you, Metal Cyphers here, what's up? The next track 7 of the new Overkill record, Fever, kind of reminded me of the Peggy Lee song Fever. I don't know if it's intentional or accidental, but it definitely has like a little flavor of that classic song. You know, it's been covered. I don't think Peggy originally wrote it. It was a blues song she covered. It's been covered by the Cramps if you watch the Hangover first movie. But yeah, it seems like an original song with a homage to that track. So they have 2 tracks that kind of sound alike, classic metal and classic blues and rock songs. But, you know, no complaints. No complaints. It's one of the most original bands of all time. They want to, you know, nod a little bit to some music they love. That's fine with me. I'm not going to be mad about it. Harder They Fall is another song, old school hardcore punk thrash Overkill song that, you know, sounds very much like old school. Or if you're a big Overkill fan, you know the song they always close with. I'll give you the gesture, but not the name because I'm not trying to get demonetized here. But you know the song we're talking about, We Don't Care What You Say? You already know. So Harder They Fall's got a great gang vocal. It's very punky, and it's very heavy. Know Her Name is the next to last track on the record, and it is maybe the best track on the record. I have to be honest. It is just the total package, and I've been talking in glowing terms here, but it is a fantastic song, and maybe the best lyrics also. I listened to it a few times, and it's impacting on you. Uh, Blitz is a masterful storyteller, and despite his vocal range and his antics and his different voices, he is a great storyteller, and he has an incredible sense, much like King Diamond, a way of conveying a story through his voice and through his characterizations of the lyrics. So, if you love storytelling, this is another banger track for you. And the closer is Bag o' Bones. Let me make sure I say that correctly. Bag o' Bones, and another cool song, very groovy, almost like late '80s progressive metal, like second era of thrash metal. Lots of complex riffs and just grinding grooves. And again, I can't say enough about the performance of Jason Bittner, and of course the bass tone of Dee Verdi. What a fantastic record, top to bottom. I would certainly give this record an 8 or a 9. Our review at Ghost Cult gave it a solid 8. Uh, this is easily the best thrash record to come out this year. No disrespect to the great Metallica, whose record comes out at the same time. It's almost like very overkill. If you listen to the Ghost Cult Magazine podcast I did recently with our senior editor, Steve Toby, he said it's a very typical of Overkill. It's just kind of like, whatever, we're going to do it. We're Overkill and we don't care. We're going to do what we do. We're going to put our record out the same day as Metallica, and they have put out a fantastic, amazing record you definitely need to buy. This is a stay list for your playlist. This is a buy on day one. This is a pre-order. You got another day to pre-order if you're watching this live. And yeah, I'm just so stoked that Overkill is still making incredible, consistent records this far into their career, and I hope they never stop. I'm Keefy for GhostColdMan.com. You've been watching the Ghost Code 5-minute reviews. If you like this, especially you Twitch folks, we're trying to get those numbers up. Support us on all the socials. Follow us. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. Leave us a comment if you didn't like this review. If you go and listen to the record and you don't agree with me, come back and leave us a comment later. Believe me, we read them all. We appreciate you all. And I want you to all stay as metal as humanly possible. I'll see you soon. And I'm out.